Hey, it's Shannon here from houseimprovements.com, and in the video today I'm going to show you how I winterize my camper for our Canadian winter up here. So the season's all over, we're done using the camper for this year, but we need to winterize it. That includes taking out the battery. I like to roll the awning out, let it dry out because they seem to get wet rolled up. Winterize all the plumbing, make sure the roof vents, window blinds, all that stuff are closed up. And open the fridges. Okay, so like I said, the first thing I kind of do is I roll the awning out, let it kind of drip and dry off while I'm winterizing the rest of the trailer. And then I kind of move on to the plumbing part. So let's go and have a look at that. On my unit here, this side of the trailer has the water heater and the plumbing pump all close at hand. Of course, you always want to make sure your water heater is drained. I like to drain it after every trip anyways. So we turn off, we usually use the electric function, which is a little toggle switch way back here. So I turn that off before draining and drain it at the end of every trip. So anyways, that's all done. There's my anode rod just sitting there waiting for next year, or waiting for the next trip. Then I've got some low point drains. It's actually marked right on my trailer here. And I'll show you underneath here what that is. So under the trailer, I've got these two drains right here, hot and cold. And they just simply have a cap on them. And if you take the cap off, it drains out any residual water that's in your line. So I drain those out. Hopefully I'm not spraying the screen too much. That one's all pretty much done. Get this one here as well. Okay, so a fair bit of water comes out of those. So I like to drain that first off, just to get that out of the lines. Put the caps back on. Okay, so that's underneath there. And then, of course, you've got your fresh water tank as well. We always drain that if we used it during our trip. We always drain that. I just open it up and let her drain out on the way home, on the drive home. So that's already done. Now, as most of you know, you've got some different options with your water usage, or the way you use your water in a trailer. You can fill your tank up, which we just talked about, and use this pump to suck out of that tank for the time that you're camping. Or maybe you're lucky enough and you've got a site where you've got full hookups and you've got water at the site. So in that case, you're not using the tank. You'd be hooking directly onto the hookup provided at the campsite. So I've got a city water connection here. This one is if I want to do my winterizing, is this one. We'll get back to that. This is if I want to fill my tank. I just simply throw a hose in there, fill the tank. So like I said, that was city connection. Actually, I hooked this in the wrong spot. But anyways, let's go back in here and look. Now what you're also going to find is a set of valves of some kind that are going to bypass your tank usually. And sometimes if a camper's new to you, that takes a little figuring out to know what does what. I've written what I need to do up here on the back of this door, and I labeled the valves just so I don't mix it up. So for my case, to winterize, I need to close number 2. Got a jet flying over. Here they come right back over us. We weren't expecting this today. Bet you didn't think you'd see that in this video. Well, that was a lot of noise, but good to see them flying again. So what was I getting at? Oh yeah, I was adjusting my valves for what I need to do to winterize. So I had it figured out that I need to close number 1, which is this valve over here, and open number 2. So basically what that does is it makes this outlet on my camper up here that I'm going to hook onto be able to suck the RV winterizing fluid. This is what I'm using. Okay, just allows me to suck that out, and it doesn't suck it into the tank or put it in the tank or anything. Okay, so now over on this side, I put in these nice plywood dividers to keep, when we're storing things in here, to keep it all from getting hooked on all these lines and things falling underneath this tank. So over on this side is my water heater, and you want to make sure that you bypass the water heater when you're doing your winterizing. Okay, so you can see that cold water basically comes in down here through the floor in my unit, and it could either flow through and fill up the water heater and then come out as hot water into the trailer, or if we turn all this stuff off, it's kind of awkward. If we turn these 2 valves off and open this one up, it bypasses. Okay, so instead of going around and into the water heater and back out and into the trailer, this comes up, bypasses the water heater and back into the trailer. Okay, so it's important to do that. You don't want to get this antifreeze in your water heater if you can help it, because it kind of leaves a residue. They say it's safe to drink. It does have a little bit of taste to it. They say it's safe to drink, but I wouldn't want to drink it all the time. And if you get it in your water heater, your water's always kind of foamy then. So anyways, just nice to bypass that. There's no need to put it in your water heater. If you've got your water heater properly drained, it shouldn't hold any water anyways. You can still hear the snowbirds. Okay, so we've got the water heater bypassed. I can close up this little compartment, move my frisbee and my rake over, and we're back over to this side. Okay, so this is my pump, my water pump. We've got everything changed under here that we need. Flip this down out of the way. Oh, actually, I had to put this on the wrong connection. I need it on this one, because this is the one that does my winterizing. Kind of forgotten, honestly. And then this is just a chunk of garden hose that actually came with the trailer, but obviously you can just make it up out of an old hose or whatever. We're going to take the lid off the jug here and stick the hose in. Now, it usually won't use this whole jug worth of antifreeze, but it's nice to have a big jug. Then you know you've got lots of antifreeze to do the job, and it's something you're going to need every year anyways. So okay, so we've got that set up out here. Now I can go inside and start turning on some valves. So in my trailer, we just came in the door, and to my right is the master bedroom thing up there, and then my kitchen's kind of in the middle of the trailer, and the bathroom's way in the back. Now that plumbing we were all looking at was up in this corner, okay, in the front left corner of the trailer. So I like to work from wherever my pump and that is back towards the back of the trailer. because that's the natural way that the plumbing lines will flow. So you might as well start at the first one, get the lines all full of fluid, and go from there. So we just simply, oh, I gotta turn my pump on. Go back to my control panel. Where's my pump? Water pump right there. Okay. So then I can turn on my kitchen faucet. And you see I've got clear water running out of it to start with. And initially it's going to take a few minutes to, not a few minutes, but a few seconds until I start to see pink. Should be coming here pretty soon. Come on, pink. Oh, there we go. We got pink, right? So I know the cold line all the way up to this sink has got antifreeze in it. Turn on the hot, and same thing, we've got to run the water that was in the lines out so we get the insulation. Okay, so that's going there. Now I'm running that for a few seconds to make sure I get it in the P-trap. If your sink has 2 P-traps, then you want to make sure you run it in both sides so it fills up the P-trap and you don't crack your P-trap. Mine only has 1 P-trap, so both drains will run through that P-trap. Okay, we're obviously not parked level here for the winter. The sink's kind of holding some water, so I'll take a paper towel later and dry that up, just because it kind of leaves a sticky residue by the time you come back in the spring. Okay, so my next stop in our trailer is the bathroom. Same idea. This is the next sink down the drain, or water thing down the drain. It didn't take nearly as long because we already had the big length of the pipe filled up with the antifreeze. But I still want to run the hot and cold until I get pink, and make sure you run enough to go in the P-trap again to make sure the P-trap is protected. Okay, so we've got that. Now we've got our toilet. We're going to push the lever and run that till I get pink. And there's no P-trap or anything on here. That's going directly into the black water tank. So you don't need to run it super long once you get some pink going. And then we've got the bathtub. We really hardly ever use the bathtub, but we still need to winterize it because it does get used periodically, and there will be water in the water lines anyways. So we'll turn that on. We got pink right away. Turn this side on. We've got some pink again, and I want to run enough to make sure it fills up the P-trap on this guy too. So. Okay, and same thing, we're not level, so I'll just kind of squeegee that down the drain and wipe out the tub. Okay, so we got those two. If you had a, if you're using your shower, if you got your shower line, just unhook it. They usually screw on, ours screws on underneath the spout down there. Just unhook it and take it to the drain and drain the water out of it, wrap it up and lay it down. Okay, so we got those ones, but I'm not finished yet. We've got an outdoor shower, which we really don't use for anything. Sometimes we'll use it for rinse and feet or whatever, coming back from the beach. But don't want to forget it, so let's go out and do it. And that one needs a key, and I can't ever remember what key. This trailer almost has a different key for every friggin' compartment on it. I keep saying every year that I'm going to change them all to one, but I just never have done it. So, outdoor shower out here. Actually, I do think it's this one, actually. Okay, so here I've got our outdoor shower line. Okay, same thing. I just want to turn on my water until I'm getting some pink. There we go. When you switch to your other valve, you're always going to get a shot of pink right away, and don't be fooled that you've already got enough in the line. It's just residual from running your cold or you're hot, or whichever one you ran the first time. And I like to go back to these undersided drains. These are those low point drains, and just crack them open again. Make sure I've got pink coming out of there, because you could push some just regular water down into there when you're doing the first drain. And I've got pink right away, so I know that I'm all right there. Crack the hot one, and I've got pink there, so we're good. But I always like to just double check that just in case. Okay, so what I do with my jug then, just lifting the hose out and letting it drip for a minute. Set that out of the way. But I'll just take this inside and I'll pour, you know, a cup or so into each P-trap just to be sure that I've got them protected. This stuff's cheap. I mean, it's way cheaper than having to change your change any of your plumbing or have a leak and have a flood. I can never remember which side has my P-trap on it. Okay. I was just looking in my cupboard. I couldn't remember which drain had the P-trap. It's this one over here. So I'll just pour a cup or so down it. And then that way I know that one's well protected. Same thing here. Pour some down the bathroom sink. And I got a little bit left, so let's pour it down the tub. Everything's good. It was kind of awkward to pour there, so I'll just pour it down here. So I did use the whole jug this year. Sometimes I've got a liter or so left over. I don't know why it's different some years than others, but it does vary for whatever reason. So we'll toss that out there, clean it up later. So like I said, I'm going to go around to every drain or every sink and just kind of clean that up a little bit and give it a wipe. And now other things I do to winterize is I want to make sure I leave the refrigerators and freezers all open so they don't get musty smelling. We take a portable one as well, so we leave those doors open as well. Oh, I've got that one plugged in. Let's unplug it. Not that the trailer will be plugged in all winter, but there's no point in that being plugged in. I think we had some drinks in there when we came back last time and that we moved later on. Okay, so I open that all up. I'm going to close all my blinds, slide in my slide outs because I've got them out a little bit right now just to make it easier to move. Check my roof vents, make sure they're all closed. My windows, windows are all closed, my blinds are closed. And the last thing I do is I unhook my battery and remove it. And actually my battery was dead today for whatever reason. So I have the trailer plugged in. So I always make sure I unplug the trailer as well from shore power before I unhook the battery. And if you don't, just be really careful you don't touch those connections together when you're unhooking the battery, if the trailer's still plugged in. So anyways, that's what I do to winterize. And cross my fingers, knock on wood. I've never had a problem in the Canadian winter of getting my trailer out for the spring and having water leaks or mice or damage or anything like that. We've been really lucky. I shouldn't even say it, but we've been lucky. Most damage can be a real problem. We've never had that issue on all the multiple trailers we've had over the years. I don't know if it's because we're always parked on a gravel lot in the off time or what it is. I really don't know. But some people swear by putting ivory soap in their camper or bounce sheets, or there's all kinds of home remedies you can put in to distract mice or at least kill them if they get in here. So if it's an issue for you, make sure you look after that as well. Okay, so it's Shannon at houseimprovements.com. I've got lots and lots of house and home reno videos and all that kind of stuff, but I'm starting to get quite a few RV videos as well because it's something that's fairly common with a lot of people, and not everybody knows how to properly maintain them, so we're trying to help you with that. Click the thumbs up, check out our entire channel, subscribe to our channel, and have a look, see what all we have.